This is just going to be a quick off-the-cuff video about a point I want to make about the use of military force. Let's read this. This is from Ron Paul about the U.S. strikes on the Houthi rebels in Yemen. The U.S. has decided to bomb yet another Middle Eastern nation, this time the Houthis in Yemen. Once again, this has nothing to do with the security of the United States, and once again, Congress has not declared war, which makes this action blatantly unconstitutional. It's evident that we and our representatives have been relegated to being mere spectators as a small handful of people in government place our lives and property into significant danger. The point I want to make, and this is something that I don't hear people talk about, is so back in 2001 after 9/11, there was a joint resolution passed called the Authorization for Use of Military Force of 2001. And you can read about how this particular piece of, I guess you could call it legislation, but it was a resolution, so I'm not sure if that's the definition of actual legislation or what. I suppose it is. This is what they use to justify their military actions. So when I hear people like Ron Paul here is saying, and he's not the only one, there's many others, who say, well, Congress only has the right to declare war. They did away with that in 2001. That's why the United States government has been able to bomb at their discretion whoever they want the past 20 plus years. It's because of this 2001 authorization for use of military force. Let's look at the Wikipedia. Not that Wikipedia is the be-all, end-all, but for this, we'll use it. Well, it says it became law, so I guess a joint resolution is, in fact, I guess, the definition of legislation, I guess you could say. So this is what has been used. Now, it even says here, and I did not find it before I started making this, but you can read about how it says right here, it says it grants the president powers to unilaterally wage perpetual worldwide wars. Both Republican and Democratic senators have led calls to repeal this, especially after Biden administration's escalation of military campaigns in Somalia since 2021. Senator Chris Murphy criticized the Biden administration's unilateral strikes as setting a very dangerous precedent, urging Biden to first seek separate congressional authorization rather than using the 2001 joint resolution. Rand Paul, Mike Lee, Mike Braun, J.D. Vance introduced the End Endless Wars Act bill in June 2023, seeking the repeal of the 2001 joint resolution. According to Rand Paul, this has been used to justify a worldwide war all the time, everywhere, forever. Mike Braun criticized the 2001 authorization for military force for authorizing U.S. presidents to unilaterally wage foreign wars without any consultation with the American public. My point has been made. That's the point of this video. And that's what they have been using for 25 years. They've been using that. So when I hear people say, Congress didn't declare war, well, they haven't been, because they've been using that piece of legislation as their excuse. That's basically what that is Congress's declaration of war forever. They basically made declaring war by the president into law. That's what that is. It's basically a piece of legislation that they are saying, this is like our eternal way of declaring war. That's what that is. They have an eternal excuse to declare war through that. They basically passed a law and said, we no longer have to declare war every time or any time that there is a war. They just use that one piece of legislation from 20 odd years ago as the declaration of war. That's the point of this video, and I'm off.